And then you can also see how bad the foundation damage is there. You see that that's my outside tarp that I taped. So you can, there's this crack that runs all the way down that pretty much goes straight outside. That rock there is kind of tilting over and stuff. So a lot of work to do. Okay, so this is my before shot. I'll explain what I'm doing in a minute, but I do want to get a before. And this does not look good. That is the limestone foundation wall that is underneath the kitchen. There's the kitchen window. It has been in bad shape for quite a long time. It's gotten worse this year, and I'm going to attempt to mortar it up and repair it, patch it best I can. So there's my exhaust fan. Right behind this wall is the crawl space that's under the kitchen and the entire south wing addition to this house. And right behind this spot here is where the hot and cold water pipes go up to the kitchen sink. So there was a galvanized hot water line down here that was leaking, and nobody knew about it, probably leaking for about 20 years. And so my theory is that the water damage from 20 years of that slow drip is what caused all this damage here, or at least started it. And then once you start getting holes and cracks, then the weather from the outside, the snow, the ice, the rain, starts to eat it, away at it even more. So anyway, I got my mortar mix. This is bonding agent. They recommend using water spray bottles. I've got a measuring pitcher and something to mix the mortar in. But this is all gotta wait until I clean up all these gaps and the crumbling mortar and dirt and everything out of there, which I'm gonna use these tools for. And these are hunks of limestone that I've been collecting from around the yard all year and piling over here. They're probably left over from when this foundation was actually originally built. So I'm gonna use these to help me patch. This is a project that I have been dreading all year, but now I've got to get it done because it's October and pretty soon it's going to get too cold to do any kind of mortaring. So this was the before video, and I'll upload later when I've got further along on this task. It's been a couple hours. That's where we're at. Probably the two worst spots have been patched up. So I put mortar in and then plugged in rocks that fit in the gaps. I did my best. This area is next, but at least it's not holes going all the way through, and that's not looking good there. And there's still a gap up at the top here. Okay, we're at the end of day one. I'm calling it quits for today. I was at this for about 4 or 5, lost track, more hours since the last video. On the outside is patched up pretty good. That's patched up good. That's where I started. That still looks sketchy, but it is solid. The shadows are making it look worse than it really is. But anyway, and then this over here. It doesn't look pretty, but it is all patched up. Except for right at the top there. And I have to get that from the inside. Can't do that from out here. But that was always the plan, to patch it and mortar it on the outside and go down in the crawl space and do the same on the inside. Alright, just so you do not panic, there is a trap door that I cut last year in the floor of the kitchen. So I'm very close to the outside world. I'm not trapped down here, just so you don't get claustrophobic. But yes, we are in the crawl space right now. This is the back side of the wall that I patched the other day. There's the gap that's looking outside that I couldn't get from the outside up at the top. This is the back side. There's some daylight coming in over here too, so I'll have to take care of that. I think I'm gonna start out focusing right here on this gap under this big rock that's leaning back. That needs to be supported. Then I'll take care of the gap at the top, and then we'll just kind of work our way around and see how much we can reinforce. There are plenty of leftover or fallen out limestone blocks around here. There's also a couple leftover bricks. So I've got materials to work with. All right, let's mix up some mortar. Start with about 3 scoops of this to start off with. A little bit of water. Probably too much already. I always give it too much. I just mix it around with the spade. Add a little bonding agent to it. Okay, so that's just about right. I don't want to mess with it, so it's good enough. It's not too wet, it's not too dry. So, now I gotta get this downstairs. Okay, so I've cleaned out this little gap as best I can with the brushes. I also have a little vacuum cleaner down here. Never get it perfect, but close enough. Now we're gonna get it wet and apply some mortar. So there's mortar in there now. And yes, I just shoved it in there by hand. Gonna spray that down. Never mind, it wouldn't go. I shoved a smaller rock in there. Then we're gonna put more mortar and shove a bigger rock. Okay, and that's it. I'm out of mortar now. This wall, just this area swallowed up that whole batch of mortar. And I did plug in a whole bunch of little rocks, best as I could. Again, we're trying to support this big rock that was tipping back. I think that's decent enough for now. And so now it's time to mix up some more mortar. All right, it's a couple hours later, and I'm calling it done. I filled in the gap at the top. There's no more daylight coming in over here. It's reinforced there. I don't know. I mean, they obviously never, really mortared all this together perfectly down here. But there's not going to be any more air coming in. I know that, at least not there. And these are no longer in danger of caving in. As for this area, I did seal up the daylight that was up at the top here too, and reinforced it a little bit in a spot where there was a big gap. We still do have just a little daylight coming in right over here. Talk to you about my plan for that in a second. The remaining daylight gap that you can see from down there is like right over here. So what I'm thinking is I can take care of the last little imperfections with some spray foam. Back in this corner, I put a bunch of spray foam in there. And then right over here by the pipes, a little bit more of just the pink insulation. Outside over here, I did spray foam in that one gap and then cut it away today. It almost looks like another rock. So that's taken care of. And then over here, I had to do a little extra last minute spray foaming. I'll cut that away tomorrow. I know how terrible this all looks. The reason there's so much moss here is because there's no eave up here. That's another problem to take care of next year. We're out of time this year for that kind of stuff. Well, it's raining out here. It's been raining all day and it's supposed to rain all night, so thank God I got that all closed up when I did.